Could fire us off on YouTube. We should
Yeah. Post the
be
link.
should be ready to go. Getting the link. Getting the link. Getting the link. What up, bro?
Shit. Oh, how's it going, bro?
Much. We should be yelling at them. There we go.
Yeah, I see that.
Podcast is live. Gonna individually tag everyone just to make sure we're ready to go.
Yeah, we have to have as many viewers as possible. You know. Oh yeah. Can get the people in here. Can get them what they want. You know, media. They said I killed media, but I brought it back. You know.
Yep.
I can undo the damage. Who the fuck is the annoying Jamaican?
I don't know. I don't know, bro, but he subbed to us. Hey, if you guys are in chat though, can you let me know if you can hear Trevor?
Here, I'll do it right now. Here.
Okay, cool.
Oh, here we go. Yep. I can hear myself just fine.
Nice. Hopefully we're not too loud or anything.
You sound pretty balanced to me, to be honest with you.
Nice. Hopefully you're not too loud either.
I'll try to lower my voice.
No, you're good. I'll just adjust it on here. We look good.
Cool.
Wow, people do not like. Can I get a test comment in here?
We don't care.
Yup, Adam Miller. Yup. Haters are out today. We're taking time for the rejects media.
What's funny is they think it gives them like, I don't know, they think they're cool when they say it, but honestly, if BMAC and Todd like ran a podcast, who the fuck would listen to that
Exactly,
shit, you know?
Exactly, bro.
Like, I just don't value the opinions of those that are less than me.
Yeah,
you know
bro.
What I'm saying?
They'd rather listen to like Colin Coward and shit, you know.
Yeah, if you listen to Colin Coward, Skip and Shannon, or you take all your fucking views from
right.
YouTube,
Like they're
they're
getting their takes from freaking from ESPN, you know, like, oh, well, I watched Good Morning Football this morning, and they told me Teddy Bridgewater is gonna win MVP and crap, you know, because someone's buddies with Teddy Bridgewater or whatever.
After last night, I thought Dak Prescott was pretty good, but then I watched Shannon Sharp talk to Skip Bayless, and that really changed my mind, you know. So, but no, fuck those guys, you know. People really hold too much weight to fucking YouTubers. The only people you should really listen to is me and Tommy, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing but level-headed takes from
two logical thinking guys with several years in the business.
Not very emotional at all.
No. I like to think of us as cool and level-headed.
Yes, honestly. I agree.
Unbiased for sure. I think you'll see that in our predictions. You know.
I think we have some good takes. I think we're gonna surprise some people with our predictions and who we like. But you know, that's why you guys are here to listen to us. And you know, if you want to get traditional media, you'll go turn on ESPN or go listen to some big guy. But you know, we're for the working man. Okay, Gold Warrior. Oh yeah, he's a user in the chat. So Trevor is Trevius in the Trevis. Trev the Raging Alcoholic. Discord.
I still see that nickname in the Discord. But yeah. It's me. I'm Trev.
He's the Chargers user, and then I'm the Commissioner Fallen here. You can call me Thomas, but please don't, because it freaks me out when people on the internet do. I get really freaked out when people call me by my real name. That's why I hide behind that fake alias. But you're going to see it as Thomas, and that's how we're going to do things here. So, Trevor, episode 1 of this new season. We're gonna commit to this year. I can feel it. This is gonna be, a pretty big thing for us. We're gonna I think we're gonna have a good year. I think it's gonna be a good year. Hopefully for both of our teams, because then the podcast lives.
Well, because all we can talk about our teams. If you just type in the chat, it's a Bills Giants podcast. I know we said we're having season predictions, but we're definitely gonna get off the rails here. All right. Bills to the Super Bowl.
Maybe not exactly, but I will contain my excitement and not let personal bias into my picks, and make sure that people know I'm pretty fair. And usually I can see, and like most people, they would just make these outlandish picks and not back them up. But I think both of us, we back up our picks pretty well in that, we have logic and reasoning behind these things.
Well, I'd like to go back to last year and see what we actually predicted. I know like a lot of it was weekly stuff, but I think it wasn't far off. I think we had, it doesn't help we don't have any crazy opinions, but I mean, I think we were pretty accurate last year. We can go back and see.
Gold Warrior just subbed. What's up? Thank you for the sub. That should update everything on the Rejects Radio YouTube channel. You can find us 27 subs strong, 7 viewers live. YouTube is Rejects Radio. You can follow us on
but we do.
You can follow us on Twitter, League Rejects, where we'll post updates. Logo on the left. All ran by through the Rejects gaming community, where we run our Sim Madden League. And thank you for the follow, Gold Warrior, or Gold sub. Maybe we'll go on Twitch one of these days, but I don't know. Twitch might be dying. I heard Twitch is dying.
Twitch is whack. I mean, unless you want to pull out your titties for the stream.
Right. We could do a hot tub stream. You know how I'm a big fan of hot tub streams. What do you think?
No, Mark and Matt Hernandez know all about me in the hot tub.
They have a hot tub.
They have a hot tub. It's actually, I think it's a jacuzzi.
Oh, man, we should get in the jacuzzi then.
It's very nice.
If we go meet up with them, we should go get in the jacuzzi. Like, do it live T-squared featuring Matt and going in the jacuzzi. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. It would be great.
All right,
let's get this thing underway.
We'll have to get in touch with our agent, He'll sort it out with them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, today on the agenda, on our lineup, we've got teams we like for this season. We're going to go over... I think we both picked one team we like and one team we dislike. So we'll flow into that. We got season predictions. You're going to see we predict overall records. And we have some opening week picks, but I don't have any visuals for that. So that's okay. But we'll be all right. We're going to figure it out. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. I'll put them up as we go along or whatever. So let's get into the teams we like, Trevor. We'll start off with that one.
All right. I guess I'll go first. Okay. The Vikings. The Vikings are a team I like. Now, when I say I like, I have them going 10-7 the year, and it's more about. And listen, this is against consensus, right? I think consensus has the Vikings. They think of them as like a kind of what the Titans used to be now. Like how the Titans were going 8-8 and they were competing, but not doing anything crazy. I think the difference with the Titans of old and the Vikings of now is that the Vikings have a lot more firepower and potential, and I think their defense also has a ceiling as well, with having one of the best players in the league on defense with Danielle Hunter.
Don't forget Patrick Peterson, one of the best corners in the league.
Was added.
No, but he should be pretty solid for them. It's just one thing they're lacking is I feel like they've drafted all those corners high. And, he's a little washed, but, he's still a solid corner.
Don't forget Jeff Gladney was a corner that just drafted high, just got arrested. I think he's already off the team. So that's one guy down. Their quarterbacks, that's what would hold their defense down. Like Pat Pete, he definitely exited Arizona best season. So I'd be worried about that. I think it's more about I think it's Kirk Cousins is why I think they're underrated. Kirk is a guy that I actually I think he's underrated. I think people underestimate what he can do, and you look at all these big games he has, and he can't finish it, do the job, and he can't get the big W. But he's a stable quarterback a lot of the times during the season, and puts up good numbers, looks good doing it, and he's got a good connection with Adam Thielen, and he already looked great with Justin Jefferson last year. And I think you can expect that offense might even take a step up from last year as well.
Right. Hopefully Dalvin Cook stays healthy for a majority of the games. What's their backup tailback look like? Is it still Alexander Madison? I'm not as versed in there.
Alexander Madison.
He had some big games last year filling in for Cook.
He did. You look at Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison is just Dalvin Cook, but not as
Not as
Doesn't have much
explosive.
burst.
Yeah.
And he even has the dreads, you know. So I mean, I don't. I think their running game would be good. I mean, they've had young linemen. They've drafted some this past year. They had some in this draft as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could project their line to get better. I mean, of course, you can project a lot of things for every team, but I mean, I honestly, I think their line play could improve this year, and I think most people have them like missing the playoffs barely, or just like maybe even like worse, like around like a 6-10, like a 6-11. And I think people think they're due for regression. I think it's the opposite. I think they're going to improve this year.
Well, and that's not the strongest of divisions, in my personal opinion.
Thomas?
Yeah. Can you not hear me, buddy?
Thomas?
Trevor, I can hear you, buddy. Can you not hear me?
Uh-oh. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Oof. Trevor can't hear me now.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you. Hang on, let me leave him.
All right, I think Trevor left. He should be rejoining me back, hopefully. Hopefully. Trevor?
Okay, that was weird. You heard me the entire time, though, right?
Yes, it's all recorded. You're good, buddy.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, that's my take of the Vikings. What do you say about that?
I was just saying, I didn't think they played in the strongest division either. I mean, you have Green Bay, but like Chicago's got a QB carousel.
Correct.
The other team in that division, it's escaping me. Help me out.
Detroit and Chicago?
Yeah. Detroit? They'd be lucky to win 5 games this year.
That's a sweep. It's 2 free games.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Detroit is going to be a tough football team that's going to be disciplined, but you can beat them because you're the more talented team. And who even knows if they're going to be disciplined? I mean, that's what their coach wants to push. But, you should beat them if you want to make the playoffs, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, you should. I will say about the Vikings, it's not like they have a fluffed up record because of an easy schedule.
Right.
They actually have a quite difficult schedule. I actually just think they're going to pull out some upsets, and I think they're going to win all the games they should. Now, if they lose like a Bengals week 1, and they get a little inconsistent, they could easily fall off this. But I think, they have the capabilities of like sneaking in the wild card. And like, for example, I think in my official predictions, I had the Hawks 10-7 tied with the Vikings record-wise, and I think I had the Vikings beating the Hawks, so they got in the playoffs. I think the Seahawks are better than the Vikings, but just how I had it, I had the Vikings sneaking in the playoffs and at 10-7. And I think most people would think that's ridiculous. I think most people would think they don't really have a bat's chance in hell getting in the playoffs versus an NFC West team, especially because they play the NFC West in the regular season.
Oh yeah, that's tough. That's real tough. You're hoping for a split, 2-2. You play the NFC West. Regardless of, that's a tough matchup for any team. That's a tough division to play. Especially geographically, teams that have to travel across the country to play them. East Coast teams never play well playing West Coast teams, just as West Coast teams when they come and play the NFC East. And
you cut out again. I don't know what's going on.
Check your internet connection, Walmart.
I'm going to leave and go back.
Okay, I think we lost Trevor again. That's okay.
This is weird stuff.
Yeah, you should probably check your internet connection.
No, my internet connection is fine. I'm not lagging or anything. Am I?
We'll see.
I just stopped hearing you.
Too.
That's weird.
That's weird. You're still live. I can hear you.
Did everyone hear you when that happens? Maybe you're cutting out.
I don't know. Pretty good ping right now. Only under 8 millisecond ping. So we're doing good.
Yeah. It's me. Unfortunately,
it could be.
Next time it happens,
could be.
I
said pretty much just playing the NFC West is no easy task, in that when you have to play them and you're an East Coast team and you have to go all the way to the West, that usually doesn't bode well. Just as when they come over and play East Coast teams, they always seem to never play well. That's just a weird thing about sports.
Correct. Yeah. All right. You like a team actually I don't really love myself, and you like the Washington football team. Tell us about that.
Big football team fan. Maybe it's my love for Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to win 10 games with them because he always seems to do it. And I think people forget last year he's the only reason the Dolphins anyway sniffed the playoffs. Because I think he's still a pretty aggressive quarterback, but he makes plays, positive and negative. But, what is he going to get out with this team? Maybe this team I'd even argue this team might have more talent on offense and defense than the Dolphins do. And I think playing in that softer NFC East, I think the Washington football team can win that, or at least pull a second at 10 wins. I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, any team in the NFC East is a is a playoff team. To be honest,
we'll see.
I don't mean like they're good enough to be. I mean, as in like the division.
I don't know. I think there's going to be some disparity this year. In that it's probably, in my honest opinion, I think it's going to be Washington and Dallas on top, and the Giants and Philadelphia having disappointing years again. So. That's how I think it's going to shape out.
Definitely a likely scenario. I'll tell you one thing though about Washington's schedule. It's rough. So you can talk about their talent and stuff like that, and Fitzpatrick, which he's as inconsistent as you can be. You don't know what you can fucking get if he plays as good as he can be. I mean, they have
a chance in any game, any team he plays, and he's hot. A hot football team. I think a lot of people forget. Like, they gave the Bucs a run for their money in the playoffs last year with Taylor Heineke at quarterback, let alone a Fitzpatrick that gets some groove. Who knows? Who knows?
But I'm just going to rattle off their first 8 games before their bye week, right? And I want you to let me know what you think. Los Angeles Chargers, New York Giants.
In LA or at home?
They're actually at home, so it's about a 50-50 split for people picking that game.
I picked football team in that one.
You're not crazy for that, but it's definitely a tough game. Coin toss. Chargers, Giants, Bills, Falcons.
Giants is a win. Loss versus the Bills. Win. Yeah, about 500.
Packers, Chiefs, Denver.
Okay, yeah. So probably a 3-5, or is what? That's 6 games. 3-3?
No, that was 8 games. You're right.
Okay, 3-5.
And then right out of the bye, you got Tampa Bay, Carolina, Seattle Seahawks, Raiders, Dallas twice, Philadelphia twice, and then the Giants.
Oh yeah, they can carve out 10. You get Fitzpatrick hot going in the back half of the year.
Well, what's worried about is a momentum, like just having their momentum drained out of them after having such a rough first half of the season. What they really have to capitalize on is that back half of the season with all the NFC teams.
That's right.
When you have
work out the kinks versus those good teams, you get a whole week of prep for the Bucs, extra week of prep for the Bucs. Not bad.
Like I said, 5 out of their 6 division games are weeks 14 through 18. They're all in a row, so they need to definitely come out on top with all those games. If that's really where the season lies, if I'm being honest with you, because I can't see any other team in the NFC East actually running far and away record wise. So having that division win total is definitely key. I think a split, I think a tiebreaker is definitely going to be a likely scenario for like the winner of the NFC East yet again.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough to sweep your division. Once you play a team twice, it's really tough to beat them 2 times in a year. You usually don't see divisional sweeps. But it's the NFC East. Weird things happen.
Weird things do happen. That's true. I agree with that. Now, do you want to go on to the teams we dislike?
Sure. We'll touch base on those.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you right now. Dallas. I can tell you. I mean, after last night, it's not look like a good take. But even after last night, I'm so confident in it. Okay. And I'll tell you why. All right. First of all, you got Mike McCarthy at a coach. What does he bring to your team?
Kellen Moore, though.
Kellen Moore, but Kellen Moore, if I'm being honest with you, he couldn't do anything for Andy Dalton in that team last year. Andy Dalton looked pretty piss poor. But I don't even know if that's completely on Andy Dalton. We'll see with how he is with the Bears, but I feel like a lot of Andy Dalton looking abysmal. It's kind of just his help, coaching wise and talent. The O line was rattled and injured. I mean, they're healthy right now. As of right now, they're healthy. But I mean, I don't think it's unfair to say you can expect some more injuries at the O line again this year because it's been every year.
Right. Yeah. At that point, you have to label them injury prone, just like you label the Eagles' offensive linemen. They can have all pro linemen, but if they're not on the field, are they all pro? You know, because when you look at that, as opposed to the Cowboys, like both of those teams, when they have success, it's when those linemen stay healthy the whole year. Like the Eagles had it, you know, they had 3 all-pro linemen that stayed healthy the entire year, just as when the Cowboys make the playoffs, it's when they had Travis Frederick in there. I mean, because we saw, now we do have the luxury of seeing them play last night. And Biadasz, it was against Vita Vea, but he lost just about every snap. He's a weak link on that line, just as Martin's hurt. Is it COVID?
I think
I can't remember. COVID, I mean, either way, though, like
either way,
what's saying, and you got to be careful with the COVID stuff. Big 300-pound guy recovering from COVID. I get he's a world-class athlete, but he might have, slow start. Bad timing for him. But
I think we can both agree that their offense, while it was anemic last year, it's definitely going to be quality this year. I mean, I think that
the offense is going to carry them to wins. Their defense just needs to make flash plays.
Exactly. And what I think is, it really lies with Dak too as well. He's getting paid all that money. Whether Dak performs in like an elite quarterback, because he needs to do that if he wants to carry that defense. Right. And honestly, man, I know they're playing the Bucs last night and they have a great rush defense. But I mean, if they can't run the ball either, it's going to rely on Dak. And Dak cannot play like he's got to play at elite level. He cannot play like, Dak is pretty good, like he's been playing before.
You can't throw 50 or 60 passes every single game and expect to compete. Like that's just not sustainable. You want to say, he was on pace for 6,500 yards or whatever it was last year. I mean, yeah, that's cool, but like that was 5 or 6 game pace. It's not really sustainable. That you got to remember, like that's 5 or 6. Yeah.
And also, that leads, like, that's a good formula to get swept by the fucking Washington football team. If you're dropping back the pass so many times, they're gonna have a field day getting to you every play. Pinning their ears back and just getting after you. And just in terms of, like I said, the defense, Dak, and just all that stuff combined, it's like everyone has a lock. There's 2 types of people right now: people who are high in the football team, like you, and they think Fitzpatrick is an instant, like, amazing upgrade and he's going to play great the entire season, or the Cowboys, and they think they're like, okay, Dak's healthy again, he's going to play elite, like an elite level, and they're far and away the best team in that division. And I think neither of those are true, but more so I think the Cowboys are overrated, because at least people that are high in the football team go, okay, they're going to make the playoffs, maybe get an upset first week, but they're not going to anything crazy. They're just the best team in the East. People that like the Cowboys think they're like actually going to compete and like be a playoff threat. And I don't see that happening. After last night, they look pretty damn good. But I mean, you have all season to prepare for the Bucs, and of course, that's their hardest game. They're going to prepare as hard as they can for Week 1.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that was a super aggressive game plan too. Within that, you can't. I mean, they said, well, we can't run the ball, so we're just going to throw 3 yards in a cloud of dust instead of 3 yards in a Zeke cloud of dust. It's a super aggressive game plan. They're playing on both, but they won't be able to do that every week. They're not going to be able to sustain that, but I'm a little higher on them than you, so I disagree with that. And just as I think we'll segue into my team I don't like, or that I'm lower on than maybe they're getting the attention for, would be the Los Angeles Chargers. I know you had them pretty high. I think you end up having them as 11 wins. And I have them as, I think, an 8 or a 9 win team. So that's pretty much the difference in the playoffs, in my opinion. I just not as high on Herbert. I'm a big sophomore slump kind of guy. He has to play some tough teams. Some of that also is I'm higher on Denver than you are, and higher on Vegas than you are too. But I just think that division isn't going to be as top heavy. I think that's the Chiefs are going to win it, and that's a tough team. And I like Denver and Las Vegas to be right around with the Chargers rather than the Chargers being a step above them, in my opinion.
Okay, so you think they split and like kind of fuck with each other's records and stuff like
Right.
that?
I think
Bring each other down.
Right. I think if I think that Vegas is a 6-win team, Denver's an 8-win team, and the Chargers are an 8 or a 9-win team.
Well, I do have Denver at 9-8. I have them
Right.
not going awful.
Right.
But with Chargers going 11-6, you know, more of that is that they played the NFC East, and I have the Chargers. I think they have them beating nearly every team. I might have them sweeping. Honestly, the NFC East. So that's 4 wins right there. I do have them. I might have them sweeping the Raiders and the Broncos as well. But either way, I disagree. I think Justin Herbert is not going to go on a sophomore slump. I think if anything, he's going to improve. If I'm being for real with you, I think he's had more time with his receivers.
Right.
I mean, you can only go up from fucking what's his name, Jesus, Anthony Lynn, right? You got Brandon Staley now. Brandon Staley, of course, he's defensive coordinator from the Rams, so he's not going to improve the offense. But I think you're going to have better culture, and you could have better offensive coaching.
Okay, that's fair.
And defensively, you got Derwin James coming back, and you got Joey Bosa.
They've got to stay healthy, though. They have legitimate injury concerns, just as the next guy. Injuries are what's keeping Bosa from being like his brother. Both the Bosa bros missed a lot of time. I mean, that's what's keeping them from being in the Myles Garrett conversation is injuries.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, even last year without those players, they still competed at like a high level.
They lost Melvin Ingram.
Mm-hmm. They did lose Melvin Ingram. He was regressing anyways.
Did they lose Casey Hayward too?
I can't remember if they lost Casey Hayward. I thought they might have retained him. But either way,
we'll take a look.
They did get Asante Samuel Jr. in the draft, and they also have some young defensive talent. But mainly, I'm high on Herbert really, and I think the quarterback is the biggest position that matters. And good quality receivers in LA. I think they're due for a good year. I think maybe the soft schedule might be a reason for it. For the record, and I don't see them making any crazy noise in the playoffs. Okay. Honestly, actually, I think I have them. I can't remember how the.
I have an update. I have an update on DBs. Asante Samuel Jr. and Chris Harris look to be their big guys. The ghost of Chris Harris. No Casey Hayward. No. The Jackson guy, right?
Asante Samuel, and then
Samuel looks good.
But he looks good. Like I said,
what's that O-line doing though? What's that O-line look like? Brian Bulaga? He ain't no spring chicken. He had a good year. Trey Pippins. Rashawn Slater, big pick. That's a rookie tackle.
Yeah, but rookie tackles, of course, unless they have like
a toss-up
season. It's definitely a toss-up. Well, like I said, I have the I'm high on the Chargers compared to you, but I think it's more about the schedule than it is about the actual team.
They got some legit edge rushers in that division too. But Matt Filer in there. He's all right.
But for me, with you, I have them getting blown out in the first round of the walk around by the Bills. Right. So
okay.
There's definitely a tier jump. Like I'm high on them. 11-6 looks good. But
I think that it's they can be a playoff team, but I'm just that's a lot of consistency to put there. It's a lot of consistency to put through there.
Amit says Raiders 8 wins is a lock. Yeah, John Gruden is pretty good at getting mediocrity. I can't say that. He's pretty good at obtaining that. He always finds a way to sneak in a few wins.
I mean, he's going to beat the Chiefs.
It's always funny when you look at the Raiders. It's like their record. You always hear about the Raiders, and you can never guess what the record is because it's just fucking all over the place. Like the Raiders have been pretty shit this year, haven't they? It's like actually they're actually even. They're 500 right now. I'm like what? But I mean, I can't see that if I'm being honest. I think the Raiders are the worst roster in the division. So
yep. All right. Well, do you want to get into the season predictions since we discussed a little bit of the records? All right. You should see the picks up on screen now. We have our picks going through. I don't know if you can see or not. If you have the stream up on your end, but do you want to?
I got my own.
I don't think we need to list every single.
No.
That would take too long. But I think we could list some of our differences we have in teams here. We'll start. What do we do? NFC? We'll start in the AFC this time. Let's go since it's up on my screen. The AFC South. I think maybe the only difference we have is you have Indy at 9-8. I have them at 8-9. Not that big of a deal, a one win,
No.
but I don't know that Indy's a playoff team. I just think Carson Wentz is going to end up being injured at some point, and I think that's going to cost them. Trust me, they're a very talented team, but at quarterback they lose Carson Wentz, and that would have been their only shot at winning the division if he plays the whole year. But he's already hurt, wasn't he? He was already hurt to start the year. I mean,
Yeah,
those are reps he missed. He pretty much missed the entire preseason.
Yeah, him and Quentin Nelson are not 100% going into the year.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm not as big on him. I'm not a big Wentz fan personally, but I feel like he's a player that a lot of people have conflicting opinions about. Whatever your thing is, to me, the best ability is availability, and I always say that. Just as we list other teams that have injury problems or historically injury, I'm always a fan of if a guy's injured significantly for 1 or 2 years, he's an injury-prone player, and I do take that into account. I think we both pick the Titans to win. Maybe only a 1 or 2 difference. I think the Titans are a legit team. Derrick Henry's going to run for $2,000 this year. It's just, what is Tannehill going to give them? Is he going to be the Tannehill that can settle in as a top 4 or 5 quarterback in the AFC, or is he going to be Tannehill that limps into a 10-win division? 10 wins that wins him the division, I should say.
And don't forget, Arthur Smith left. He's with the Falcons now. So,
yeah,
you can point a lot of his success,
right?
Arthur Smith. And to be fair, I'm going to say this right now. I think as of this year, I think the AFC South is the worst division of football. I think the Colts need a year to get their shit together. I have them at 9-8. They're not awful, but I think they need a year to get their shit together. Health wise, and just figure out if Wentz is their guy or not, and he needs to get adjusted to the team. And I think Tennessee's, they're fucking great, but I mean, aside from that,
Tennessee's good. I don't know. I have a couple more wins for Jacksonville. It's Trevor Lawrence, rookie QB, young and dumb, playing with nothing to lose, and the consensus pick is Houston in the toilet bowl.
I don't know if young and dumb and nothing to lose is your best. Your best reasons for winning.
Listen, man, 5 wins, and it's a long season. Season. Somehow you find these teams to win 3 to 5 games, and you're like, I didn't think they would win one. Someone's got to win them. Someone's got to win them.
Is there anything in the AFC you actually have some crazy differences in?
I have the Bills significantly higher. If we want to touch on them, we also think we're low on Pittsburgh. I have Baltimore only winning 10. You have them at 12. That's a pretty significant jump. And I have the Bills pretty much being Super Saiyan. We look like we both have New England and Miami around 10 or 9 wins each. And I don't think anyone can confidently tell you that New England or Miami are going to be who's going to be the better team out of those two. I don't think you can pick between those two.
I think you can. I think you can pick New England. I think
you can pick New England.
Yeah.
To me, I can't pick a rookie quarterback, but I've never seen, how is Mac Jones going to adjust? That's my thing. And not that Tua's a world beater, but I think you can make the case New England's a better team.
I think people are forgetting all the free agent additions
yeah.
been added.
Yeah.
If you look at the surrounding core,
they still got McDaniels as their OC. Yeah.
I would put a lot of money on Mac Jones having a better season than Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay, yeah, I feel comfortable in that. Yep.
Yeah, and the running game as well. Their line's way better than the Dolphins. So if you look at it, right, they're both defensive teams. Last year, the Dolphins kind of relied on turnovers. You don't know if it's actually going to transition this year and actually sustain itself. But I know for a fact that the New England's going to improve on their defense, and they've got fucking Bill Belichick. Not that what's his fucking name with the Dolphins is any slouch when it comes to defense. What's his fucking name? Head coach of the Dolphins.
Their linebackers coach. He was the Pats linebackers coach.
Yeah,
forgetting his name.
Either way, I just don't see I don't see their offense doing anything. The only time their offense was doing shit last year, like you said, was with Ryan
Fitzpatrick slinging that rock baby. I mean, they don't have anyone to catch the ball at the backfield, which we know is. You need that in the modern NFL. You've got Devontae Parker. Sure, you got Jalen Waddle, but Tua needs to be consistent Tua's just had no consistency last year. And I don't even think he had a lot of flashes either. It was a lot of struggling. But he won a lot of games, but look at the talent around him there too in college. Injuries. There's a whole plethora of things with Tua. I think the Dolphins are the third best team in the division, though, with you. I don't think I don't think we have anything. Maybe shocking is we both picked Pittsburgh to have a down year, which I think we're both banking on Big Ben falling off, and that's how I would agree.
Big Ben, the offensive line, and you draft a running back when I don't think you can run the ball efficiently.
Yeah, with a patchwork offensive line, like
yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't even know who's starting on their offensive line.
And Chase Claypool, I mean, dog. People think he's gonna have a good fantasy year, but I mean, how is he gonna have a good fantasy year when you got Big Ben throwing the ball? I think Big Ben's due for some big regression. Honestly,
yeah.
I don't think his heart's in it anymore either. I don't think he wants to play.
Add in Joe Hayden's no spring chicken at 32. Tyson Alalu, older interior defender. Melvin Ingram's 32. That's cool, but like, sure, everyone thinks he's going to come in and put up 15 sacks, and I just don't know that you can count on him to be that player anymore. What?
Their defense is star heavy, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean Cam Hayward aging. Is Stewart hurt? Is Stewart or Hayward hurt? One of them's hurt.
I don't know if either of them are hurt. I haven't heard about that, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be surprised. But either way, the pass rush is still going to be good, even with one out. But the problem is that secondary is not reliable. You're really relying on Devin Bush to carry that linebacking core. But
he's coming off a major injury too, right?
Yeah, and if you can't step up, then that's a hole as well in the defense.
Yeah.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, I think he's overrated personally. And also, he can only cover so much grass. He's only one person.
Right.
So,
a lot of people were talking about that secondary last year, but take a good look at it. And outside of Minkah Fitzpatrick, who are you saying that guy's a really serviceable guy? I mean, sure, Joe Hayden, don't get me wrong, Joe Hayden had flashes last year, but he's also 32. This is a young man's game. Akelio Witherspoon, I mean, there's a reason he got traded.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they gave away too much value from him too, and he's fucking garbage, just absolute garbage.
Yeah. So please, I'm licking my chops if I'm the Bills. We're throwing at Akelio all day, baby. We're letting Gabe Davis beat him all day.
Oh yeah, bro. Just throw to Cole Beasley out of the fucking slot, and they give him 5 yards every play. I mean, just quick passes, you can easily beat this fucking Pittsburgh defense. Honestly.
Yeah.
Joe
Scobert,
good line play,
they got Joe Scobert, I think, is their other linebacker. There you go, baby.
Overpaid. Trash.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions on that roster. It's an old roster. Are they still throwing Terrell Edmonds out there?
Have they not? I don't know. Honestly,
he's still on their roster.
Isn't he he's like an average starter at best, right? I mean, I don't really care about him.
The only other safeties on roster are Miles Killebrew.
Oh, and don't forget, if Joe Hayden fucking drops off speed wise, they probably will shove his ass over there too.
I could see that, but then who are your other?
Oh yeah,
your other linebacker. I mean, your other DBs are James Pierre, Arthur Mallett, Justin Lane, and Trey Norwood.
I'm fucking yawning at that shit. You hear me?
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Trash.
Right.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think in terms of the AFC, we pretty much agreed everything. I mean, Cleveland, Baltimore, they're the two dogs in the division, and I think we both.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the records close, but I believe Cleveland's a better team.
I think so, and you have to factor in those injuries on Baltimore too.
Yep. No, for sure.
Yeah, and you picked this yesterday before those practice injuries, but now instead, I mean, sure, Gus Edwards. Don't trust me. I'm not saying Gus Edwards is a great running back, but he was at least a tough back that ran hard up the middle that was effective in short yardage bursts. Now you've got Le'Veon Bell, the ghost of Latavius Murray and Todd Gurley, and
some kid named Tyson Williams.
Yeah. Listen, that offense was built on running the ball with a plethora of running backs, and they had a really deep running back room that pretty much now there's a lot of question marks behind it, because let's be real here. Sammy Watkins is getting hurt. Bateman's going to be out the first couple weeks of the year. They have a tight end, but it's almost like they're back to square one. What are those playmakers are going to do? Can Lamar elevate their play? We'll see, but
yeah, rookie receivers hurt, and that's tough shit.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest with you, I mean, the running back injuries like that hurts, but it's not as bad as like it would be. Like,
Right.
for example, Cam Akers, that affecting the Rams is not as bad as it would be. But for the Ravens,
it's
running is their bread and butter.
not the mid 2000s. We're not growing up and LT got hurt for the Chargers.
Yeah, but unfortunately for the Ravens, they are the one team where running backs matter a lot more.
Right.
Right. So, like, I think even the Titans, the way they run the ball, Derrick Henry gets hurt, you could fucking throw someone in there to run the rock, and you wouldn't be as miserable. But the Ravens, I don't know, man. That running back position, they kind of need explosiveness, like on the read option. If you got some piece of shit running back, I mean, you're gonna contain the quarterback every time.
Right. You could key on Lamar. I mean, that's what made J.K. Dobbins so nice, and for Mark Ingram when he first got there too, he provided good balance to that. Not that there's a possibility. I think the Ravens do end up making the playoffs regardless, but things get a lot tougher for them. They could definitely fall into that second tier. I mean, okay, I already think they are second tier, but things can get tough for them. My opinion.
I agree. I think now moving on to the NFC, because the AFC, we pretty much we're pretty similar in the AFC pick.
I think we have a lot more variance in the NFC.
Yeah, correct. I think a really interesting topic for everyone, I think everyone has different opinions, is definitely the NFC West.
Yeah, we have the NFC West and NFC East are our variants. But that's also because I think we're pretty similar in NFC North. I don't want to spend a lot of time, but we'll spend a lot of time on the NFC West. You have San Francisco 13-3. That's sorry. So what, 13-4 or 14-3?
Have them at 13-3. Oh wait, shit. Oh, you know what happened? I had them. I forgot to click a game for the Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm pretty sure I was going to have them going. I think I was supposed to have everyone splitting. So I was going to have them going 14-3, and the Cardinals going 11-6. So actually 14-3 is what I was going to have the 49ers at.
Okay. I had the Rams.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what's crazy? Yeah. And I did, we're not going to talk about playoff predictions right now, but I had the Rams going to the bowl. So I honestly agree. I think it's like the Bucs last year. The Bucs ended up being better than the Saints by the end of the season, but in the regular season they were not. I think Matthew Stafford's going to have some time to get with Sean McVay and get comfortable. But I think by the end of the season, the Rams will look fucking terrifying. And I have them going 12-5.
Yeah. I think I have them as that, but I just don't have all the other teams having monster years. Don't get me wrong. I think they're good teams, but I think Seattle's still the second best team. I still think the Cardinals are an incomplete team, and I still think San Francisco has a lot of question marks too. Don't get me wrong. I know San Francisco had a lot of injuries last year, but I take injuries as question marks. How big of a factor is that their quarterback system going to be to them? Are they going to lose guys in the locker room, or is it going to be a bigger distraction than some might have? Between both guys worried about playing for their job. Is that going to affect them the first couple weeks till they find a guy? Now, don't get me wrong. I think, sure, Jimmy G is more experienced than Lance. While Lance might be more talented than him, but Jimmy G won a lot of ball games for the 49ers when he's healthy. Just as they had a plethora of injuries. Hopefully they're all together because, I mean, the 49ers definitely can be a pretty good team when they're all healthy, for sure. They could win the division. I mean, any of these teams can win the division. There's a scenario where they all win it. I just think, realistically, I think the Rams are a top 5 team in football, especially with Matthew Stafford in there. I think they might be the best team, but I like your thinking too, though, that they might be the best team and they'll figure it out later in the year. It'll take them a little while to get settled down, and San Francisco could steal some, or even Seattle could steal. There's a path where Seattle wins it too.
Well, the biggest thing about this is because they're all beating the shit out of each other and all still splitting left and right their other division games. Right. It's really about San Francisco they had a bad year last year, so they have an easier schedule. Seattle finished first. That's why they're the unfortunately ones to not get in the playoffs for me. They got 10-7.
Yeah.
But honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I agree with you. There's a path they could all make it. Whether some more likely than others. I think the 49ers and Rams have better chances than the other two.
I'd agree.
I think the Cardinals have the least amount of chance, but every team has one. I mean, Cardinals,
Right.
I'll take it for Kyler Murray to take an elite step up.
Yeah, Kyler
Russ-
Murray'd have to take a jump to be a top 5 quarterback. But
Yep.
I mean, Kyler Murray can be a really productive, scary player. He's got to
Yes.
be able to, maybe if he grows a couple inches and learns how to throw over the middle. I mean, because he's going to limit his ceiling as a quarterback, but there's a possibility where he becomes just a bad man, plays with his hairs on fire, and AJ Green finds the fountain of youth, and Cliff Kingsbury figures out his NFL play calling. You know, things aren't.
JJ Watt, don't forget about that. JJ Watt.
JJ Watt needs to be a productive player next to Chandler Jones. Lots of young players on that defense, though, still. Sure, they have Buda Baker, but they have 2 really young linebackers, right?
Yeah,
the kid from
they do.
Clemson, and then the big kid from Tulsa too, right? Zayvon
Isaiah
Collins.
Simmons, and then you have fucking Zayvon Collins. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, young linebackers. Those guys could take a step up, though.
I agree.
That's
And you
their
look at
path.
the Seahawks. You look at the Seahawks. They need anyone but Russ to do some fucking
Right.
to do something.
Right.
You know.
They need some
That's it.
consistency on that offensive line. They need to figure out on defense, and they need to figure out an identity on offense that isn't throw the ball to DK and throw bombs to Lockett.
Yeah.
And just let Russ make incredible plays.
Yeah. No, I agree. If Russ like performs like the early last year, and their team has helps on the slightest, they could definitely perform up. Like I said, the Rams. I think we both think Matthew Stafford's a big step up from fucking Jared Goff, and all they need to do is play their usual selves and just have Matthew Stafford, and they're going to be good. 49ers, key is just health. Like I said, key's health, and that's it. I mean, I think all those teams have passed to winning, and I think I have the 49ers winning a lot of games because, I mean, Kyle Shanahan is just goated as fuck, bro. I mean, and also I think Jimmy G, people shit on him, and it's kind of like my Kirk Cousins take. They give him a lot more shit than he deserves. Do I think Jimmy G is an amazing starter? Do I think he's even like well above average or even above average? No, but I think
Really?
an average starter. I think Jimmy G is a slightly above average starter, right?
Oh, see,
Yeah,
I could see him being an upgrade for a lot of teams.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think not
but
that
he's
we
not
want to
the-
go too deep into it. He doesn't really win them a lot of games, but when they built a team around it, had a lot of talent around it. I think a lot of teams would be happy with him as their quarterback.
Yeah,
in my
and
opinion.
the defense is still
Right.
great, and they were completely decimated last year. You're gonna see how great they are this year.
Yep.
Anyway, so moving on though.
I guess we need to get into the NFC East because we both have Pack and then Vikings in the NFC North. We're going to the NFC East.
Okay.
I'll let you. We'll address everything but the obvious. Obviously, we talked about Washington. I have them winning it. You do not. You don't think Dallas is good enough to make the playoffs. I do. Philadelphia at the end of it. So we can get into the Giants. You have them winning the division. I have them as not in the playoff hunt. That's okay. Trevor is a Giants fan, but I'll let him defend his takes because he knows that team more than me.
So I said this before to Tommy. The reason me taking the Giants is actually I didn't expect them to come out on top. If I'm being honest with you, when I made the predictions, I mean 9-8 is nothing crazy. If anything, I think it's just me being low on the rest of the league. Not the rest of the league, the rest of the NFC East. You know, maybe I have the Cowboys losing a few too many. But if I'm being honest with you, their schedule is not slouch at all. Just like all of our schedules are not fucking they're pretty rough for the East.
Do you guys play the AFC East this year?
We played the AFC West.
AFC West.
And then we played the shit. Who do you play? The NFC South.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of that comes from I rate those teams a little higher than you do.
Yeah. So in terms of that, I have us losing a lot of those games. Like all the out of division games, I have a lot of us losing a lot of those. The Cowboys actually have them going 4-2 the division, but I've talked about them. Why I think they're not going to do great. I think they'll do well against them in the division. I think I actually had them sweeping the Giants, but and I think I had them losing to the football team twice. But I mean, really, it's this, right? The offensive line has had a lot of question marks. If they can just not be awful, if they're just like below average,
right?
Saquon's healthy again. Of course, it's a running back. He's not going to make the biggest difference in the world. Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, those are two additions, and I think they're both good additions. Kadarius Toney's a rookie receiver, but I think you can do a lot of cute stuff with him. You know, he can be a gadget player, and he's also a good just receiver as it is. Kenny Golladay is a good outside threat, a little change of pace in terms of receiver type. You know, we have a lot of speedy guys and slot guys in the Giants, and Kenny Golladay is a big body dude who can get open downfield and fucking put his hands on the ball. Evan Ingram, I'm not gonna say a lot about him. I don't know what you want me to say about Evan Ingram. He can be good and he can get separation, or he can fucking lose you a game because you can't rely on him. So, but in terms of weapons, I think the Giants are actually pretty solid. Defense is I think I think we could be a top 10 defense. I think we were a top 10 defense last year. And I think if you look at it, it just lies in pass rush, whether we need to improve or not. Our coverage was great last year. James Bradbury, we had added Adoree Jackson. Jabril Peppers, he's a box safety. I'm actually not incredibly high on Jabril Peppers. Xavier McKinney is just like him, but we probably will use him more in the box. And I'm not sure. I don't know if you want to put Jabril in the box or like I think I might sub these guys out. Having both those guys is kind of redundant and weird. But Xavier McKinney looked good at the end of last season. We got a lot of depth at corner and safety, so we can rotate guys around easily. I just think coverage is not a problem for us. Linebacking core, Blake Martinez is the starter, whatever. But run defense is great. Look at that up front line. Fucking Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. Those are two fucking dudes who are nasty on the front.
Should be able to hold the trenches interior wise.
They're actually not bad. Leonard Williams is more known for being a pass rusher too, and Dexter Lawrence has actually he actually pushes the pocket more than people think he does. He's not the worst pass rusher in the world, and I think he can develop more. You know, people look at a big nose tackle type like Vita Vea coming out of college, and they're like, oh, he can't rush the passer, he's just gonna big fucking yeah. But look at Vita Vea, like last night, he's just pushing dudes downfield. I think Dexter Lawrence, he's not going to get to that level, but I think he can do something like that. Okay. You drafted Azeez Ojulari. You hope he's something the first year. You got a Shane Ximines coming back from being injured, and he's not bad. Lorenzo Carter, he's got talent. He could take a step up. I think Lorenzo Carter is probably comparable to Leonard Floyd in terms of having raw talent, and everyone thinks they're going to take a step up every year, and they never do. We'll see if Lorenzo Carter can actually do it this year. But bottom line is, it's all lines with Daniel Jones. Like, defense is going to be good. Receiving core is good. Offensive line is bad. Everyone knows all of these things.
Right.
The big question is Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones can be like an average starter. Like I think he can be like in a Kirk Cousins range, right? You know what I'm saying? Not that they're the same type of player, but I think he can get to a level of at least middling quarterback, and that's a big improvement. And with a good defense and a middling quarterback, you can get that 9-8 record easily.
Softer division. It's all based on Danny, but the other discrepancy I have here is Dak Prescott looked really good last night.
Yeah,
the Cowboys
today, by the way.
Right. Micah Parsons looked pretty good last night. When Dallas actually figures out their linebacker and they play Micah Parsons every down, that defense is going to look a lot better than basically platooning those linebackers. They have the most talented offense in the division. They should be able to compete for that. They should be able to compete with the football team, in my opinion. But you don't think that? I do. That's our discrepancy on those guys. It basically, what's the Cowboys' ceiling? Can they be a consistent 9 or 10 win team and win the division, or can the Giants take that step? I don't know. I don't believe in Daniel Jones, and I think really they ultimately last draft they traded up to get more ammo. That way they can trade up and pick Daniel Jones replacement. Nightmare scenario for Trevor,
if
but
they thought that way, they would have took Justin Fields. But they did that for just in case. But I mean, they really just about value in the draft who they wanted to take. Eagles. What do you have the Eagles at? You have them at 5
and 12. Yeah, I have them above the Giants though. Giants at 4 and 13.
But we both agree the Eagles are not going to do great this year.
Unfortunately for the Eagles, I know Jack, if he's listening, he's gonna, he thinks Jalen Hurts is gonna be some point producing machine. I still see a roster that really is feeling the effects of winning that Super Bowl with a lot of aging veterans. Like, to me, it's unfathomable why they haven't traded Zach Ertz for any sort of value and,
Very weird.
Moved away from a lot of some of those older pieces. Like, sure, Brandon Graham made the Pro Bowl last year, but like, Brandon Graham is really old. Fletcher Cox, I get they're not going to trade. Like, to me, they were an old team. They are a really old team that had a lot of pieces that should have probably been moved. But, people don't like that. Whatever. They still want to compete. It's not a strong division. But there's a possibility Gardner Minshew plays more games than Jalen Hurts this year.
There is a possibility. What's funny? People always say, like, oh, quarterbacks will be found out in their second year, and like people would actually adjust to them, their play styles.
Yeah.
That's like it's a corny statement. Everyone says it all the time, but I think it's true. And I think Jalen Hurts was going to find out next year. People are going to realize what his play style is. They're going to figure out, like, he takes a lot of McReads and he runs out of the pocket and scrambles. So they're going to be like, okay, contain him, take away his first read, and then watch him freak out. And I guarantee you his performance will drop. And the Eagles will realize, okay, let's make a Gardner Minshew thing. Gardner Minshew was cute. He was
he was a little flashy, like cool. He played for a really bad team and put up numbers because his team was terrible.
Yeah, and they're behind. Exactly. So, and Jacksonville fans are like, oh, he's awesome or whatever. We love your Gardner Minshew, but then they realize, okay, like, he's not the starter. Like, he's cool and all, but like,
he has like little to no upside. Sure, it was cool. Like, it was like when Ryan Fitzpatrick won some games for the Bills. It'd be like if they came and gave him a big money. For reference to age check on, I think we both agree that there's going to be more regression. Like Ryan Kerrigan, 33. Kelsey's 33. Brandon Graham's 33. Aging offensive line and Brandon Brooks. Lane Johnson, 31 and 32.
And health questions, don't forget.
Yeah, on top of health. Darius Slay is 30. I mean, I get that's corny. We say, oh, 30's that magic number. But Darius Slay is 30. Zach Ertz is 30. Lane Johnson is 31. This isn't 25-year-old Super Bowl champ Lane Johnson. Yeah, Anthony Harris should be able to make some plays for him. Stevie Nelson. I mean, sure. So they got Stevie Nelson and Eric Harris, but like those aren't right home about guys. Fletcher Cox, he's 30. I mean, age has to be a factor when you're talking about some of these guys too. Just as I've brought it up for other teams, like you have to expect some regression and performance drop in these guys. It's just bound to happen.
And in terms of like their weapons, we got like what the second best Penn State running back in the division, and then you have like what? Eagles, like 5 Eagles bust wide receivers. Like
they're like, oh, Greg Ward, he's putting up numbers.
Yeah,
they got Devonta Smith, who I think is going to be a monster.
Well, they had to pick in the fucking top in the top 10 to actually get a good receiver finally. They know it's not going to be a bust.
Yeah,
but and he's coming off an injury as well, isn't he, Devonta Smith? So
he was injured at some point during preseason.
He was injured during the playoffs and the college playoffs, wasn't he? So,
yes, he had
Jalen Waddle was doing most of the targets because he was injured.
Yeah. I mean, like Quez Watkins and Greg Ward are what are you getting out of Jalen Reagor and Whiteside? Like, Greg
is Alshon Jeffrey still on that fucking team?
No, he's not still on roster. He might be injured. Is he?
I mean,
maybe he's on. No, he's not on an injured list.
Yeah, he could not be. They could have finally got rid of
Tyree Jackson on the injured list for him.
Yeah, sorry, but anyways,
Jordan Howard on the practice squad.
That's cute. He was a fantasy monster at one point.
Yeah. Ty McGill on the COVID roster.
So all these Eagles fans who think they got Devonta Smith now that receiver problems are just solved, I want you to take a look in the mirror and just realize it's not, right? Like the Giants already had a decent receiving core and John Kadarius Toney in the first round. I don't think we're magically going to have the best receiving core in the league. I think we're like fucking we're like what in like the top 15, like probably top 12. But I mean, it's not some miracle cure.
Don't forget about Boston Scott. He's a weapon.
Only against the Giants. Only against the Giants.
Yeah. Kenneth Gainwell, I think Kenneth Gainwell's a dude. He's a gamer, bro. Honestly, fantasy handcuff. He could get some touches.
Good. I mean, when Miles Sanders inevitably gets injured, he could get some touches. Yeah, but this whole Eagles team just not hide it. And also, really. It's also a lot of wishful thinking too. I'd love to see the Eagles do shit. I would just love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think that's really wraps up for everything. NFC North, I don't even want to touch that. We're gonna have the same takes.
Yeah, but, Packers. Do you think the Vikings making playoffs too?
I had them making playoffs because they beat the Hawks, but I don't think they're as good as any of the NFC West teams.
Yeah.
But I told you about the Vikings. Bears, we all know they're rookie quarterback. They're
quarterback carousel, not a good look.
Yeah. Andy Dalton's going to be out of there. They're going to force him out of there.
Lions.
Shit.
They're lucky to win 3 games. NFC South, though, I think New Orleans can win some games, man. I think New Orleans is a 9-8 team.
No,
I'm a Jameis guy.
I actually am higher on the Saints and well, I'm higher on the Saints. I might be middle of the pack. And the Falcons too. I think good of those teams. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jameis could do good, and I think the world of Sean Payton. I think it was a combination of just the uncertainty with Jameis Winston. Yep. And I think it's a combination of the receiving core and the weapons. Like Jameis Winston is going to be. He has a good coach. You could coach him up. He's sat behind Drew Brees. Great, but now who's he going to throw to? I mean, Adam Troutman, he's a cute little young tight end. He could be a reliable target. Honestly, maybe a fantasy sleeper. Could be safe in that. But anyways, I just don't know, man. Their weapons, and I think their defense. It's just. I know it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But I don't know. People are giving it too much credit, I think. If I'm being honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Falcons, I think they're going to have to go 6-10 just like the fucking Saints. But I think their offense is incredible, and I think their defense is going to be the death of them. But I think they're going to be a tough out in every game. I think both the Saints and the Falcons are tough out. Like they're going to go 6-10, but 6-11, but they're not going to look like a 6-11 team. If that makes any sense.
Makes sense.
It's unfortunate being behind the Bucs.
Yep.
Unfortunate stuff.
Yeah, that stinks. Considering they could probably have one of the best rosters we've seen in a long time. I think that's pretty apparent.
All right. Well,
you want to get into these week ones?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go real in depth in them, but we can pick. I'll just run through it down and we can pick.
Let's do that.
Okay. I mean, we both picked the Bucs. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Jags at Texans.
I'm taking that. Also, the spread's 3. You take that every day of the week. Texans are tanking.
Taking the Jags?
Oh, yeah. Well, the Texans finally have their own first-round pick, right, this year?
Oh, I think so.
So, you know what they're doing, right? They're fucking tanking hard. They're tanking hard. Mm-hmm. So, that 3-point spread looking tasty. I'm taking that. I'm walking.
Chargers at football team.
Coin toss.
Taking the football team.
I'm taking the Chargers, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think Justin Herbert's going to look not great his first game. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. People are going to overreact to this game. They're going to be like, we thought Justin Herbert was a godsend. He actually didn't play great this game, but they're going to forget that he was playing a football team.
Right.
I think it's a coin toss.
Football team, really good defense. Week 1, they have to travel across the country. A lot of weird travel stuff still. I'm taking the football team at home just because you're the home team. If it was flipped, I'd take the Chargers. Seahawks at Colts.
I got the Seahawks.
I'm taking Seahawks too. I think Wentz has a slow start, poor first showing. Jets at Panthers.
I'd take the Panthers.
I'm taking Panthers
Zach
too.
Wilson's first game too. Zach Wilson's first game. Panthers. No
Young,
slouch.
dumb, and
I
nothing to
think
lose, but Sam's got some weapons, man.
Sam Darnold playing pissed
You
off,
know,
maybe.
could be revenge game, trap game,
Yeah.
not a trap game.
No,
Vikings
shotgun,
at
but-
Bengals. I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be closer than people might think. I'm taking the Vikings.
maybe Joe Burrow might see some ghosts with Dino Hunter. You know.
Yeah, who knows? Cardinals at Titans. I think
Tough
we're both
game.
gonna. Oh,
Tough
and
game.
Kyler can. I mean, that Titans defense is nothing to write home about. This isn't 2 years ago when it carried them to the AFC Chip.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think I'm picking the Titans. Like I don't bet in this game. That's for sure. Don't bet in this game.
No, I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole.
I mean, I like the Titans this game, and I don't like them. I think they will win. But I mean, the thing is, Kyler could easily fucking throw for 350 and run around.
I'm taking the Titans just because it's week 1. Like Derrick Henry should pretty much just be running through everything at this point. He's not hurt, and he doesn't. But he doesn't seem like he ever slows down though. When everyone else slows down in the NFL,
don't forget undersized young linebackers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're not gonna have trouble tackling Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Next one up, 49ers at Lions. I think we're both going to take the 49ers. Yeah.
Multiple scores.
Steelers at Buffalo.
Buffalo. You already know that. You know what, Tom? You haven't had a chance to really go off about Buffalo yet. Go ahead.
Okay. Honestly, so I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl. I think Buffalo starts out with a pretty big statement here and wins by 2 to 3 scores. I think the only thing that scares me is Big Ben's arm hasn't fallen off yet because it's week 1. Eventually he's going to end up hurt by the end of the week, but I think Buffalo wins pretty good, and Josh Allen really shows that he's going to take that next level and not just be around Rodgers and Mahomes level, but be Rodgers and Mahomes level the whole year. For just straight dominating, you can't count them out, in my honest opinion.
I think 3 scores is a little rich. I think if it's 2
it's
scores,
the NFL. I think a 2 score.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 2 scores is reasonable. But I think the Bills' offense is gonna click.
That Steelers defense, though, I don't know. I like our offense, though, and I like our defense to be pretty solid like they were. I mean, the Steelers didn't really move the ball on our defense last year. Now, don't get me wrong. That's last year. Whatever. But to me, I think the defense can hold their offense down enough that even if the Steelers defense, makes it so the Bills don't put up 30 points, the Bills offense still puts up enough points, because I don't know that the Steelers offense is much to write home about. I think
the safe line is 24-13.
Yeah. And I'd be comfortable with that. 24-13. I'd take that win.
All right, next.
Eagles at Falcons.
I'll tell you right now.
I'm taking the Falcons.
If you have any Falcons playing and your fantasy team, start them fucking now.
Oh my God, yeah. You have Calvin Ridley.
First of all, if you drafted Calvin Ridley, you're smart, because that motherfucker's gonna go off this year.
Yeah,
I think people sleep on Matt Ryan. Honestly, I think
Matt Ryan can have another big bounce back year.
I
bounce
think
back
Ryan,
in a sense that he'll fantasy wise he'll get you your points. I mean, he puts up. He's him people shit on him because obviously he's a little older quarterback, whatever. But he gets his garbage time points. Falcons might not be a fantastic team, but Ryan puts up numbers. He is the definition of garbage time.
Yeah,
I think he beats the Eagles. I think they beat the Eagles. I don't know that they're much to write home about.
No, I think Grady Jarrett scares the fuck out of Grady Jarrett pushing down the pocket against. Actually, they got Jason Kelsey, and he's actually ready for week 1, so maybe not the case. But anyway, I think Jalen Hurts is gonna. I don't think he'll struggle this game. He'll put up some numbers, some fantasy numbers. But I think the Falcons are actually gonna drop a fucking deuce on the Eagles. I think they'll drop many points, many points. I think Arthur Smith has got this team ready. I think Matt Ryan is all right, dog, I need to fucking show people I'm a fucking top 10 quarterback, and they forgot. I think in a vacuum, you don't have to have a blank slate. All right, 1 year. All right, not for a dynasty. I think I take Matt Ryan over Dak.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Either
They're,
way,
they're similar players.
big garbage
But
time numbers. Browns at Chiefs.
this is tough.
Can the Browns? I'm in Kansas City though. 4:30.
Yeah. So the spread is 5.5. I think you take the spread, but I think the Chiefs are going to win.
I think the Chiefs win, but there's also, Browns played them tough last year with. Oh wait, Chad Henne was their quarterback.
Yeah.
Still, Browns are a tough team. They got Clowney, right? All right.
Yeah.
I get it. Clowney is not what we, Clowney is an elite run defender, but he is still to have him on the other side of Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, that's the big thing.
And I mean, because legitimately, Myles Garrett could be the best edge rusher. Yeah, I mean, like T.J. Watt just got paid. Yeah, that boy Myles Garrett. He saw that contract and said, "Give me that and then some."
To think Mason Rudolph called that man the N-word is just ridiculous. So he's scary. I would not come close to that.
Oh, Myles Garrett is a fucking freak. I'm going with Kansas City, but that's a toss-up game too. That's a tough one. We'll go Kansas City week 1. Mahomes is going to throw the ball around and none of that. And this is a long season too. Remember, would they play maybe later on in the year and the Browns
We're going to see each other in the
can
playoffs.
kind of wear them down? Yeah. Packers at Saints. I'm taking the Pack, but
take the Pack.
Saints could come out. Rodgers hasn't played all preseason, right?
Yeah,
little disgruntled.
Player props. If you want to put get good odds on Jair Alexander having a pick, I think he can do that. I think Jameis Winston first game he might show a little bit of his old traits, Or maybe do you think he does that, or do you think he plays consistent? He plays like so conservative to be like the opposite of what he used to be.
Give me the Pack, but we'll go with the Pack. I think Winston will be a little bit better than people give him credit for this year.
Okay.
Because he sat behind Breeze. Yeah. I mean, he got some playing time with Breeze was hurt, but he had pretty much a whole year to figure himself out.
But if you're stealing crab legs, do you really want to crack open a book next to Drew Brees and read a playbook?
All right. Well, here we go. Your team, buddy. Broncos at Giants.
What's crazy is the Giants are actually they're underdogs by a lot in this game.
Really?
That's crazy.
What are people so high on Denver for?
Broncos are minus 160. I think people forgetting that Teddy Bridgewater is not much of an improvement from Drew Lock at all. And I think this is a coin toss game. I think Denver should be slightly favored, but not overwhelmingly. And I think it's going to depend on turnovers. It's going to depend on turnovers. If Daniel Jones gets fucking strip sacked by fucking Von Miller, I mean, GG's, because it's going to be a low scoring game.
Chubb's healthy again, right?
Yeah, but Chubb is. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about Bradley Chubb. But I think it's turnovers. This game's going to be basically who turns the ball over less and who gets
Teddy
better.
Doesn't really turn it over for that much, though. He's a pretty conservative quarterback.
I mean, I'm going to take the Giants.
I'm going the Broncos here.
Yeah, coin toss game.
Yep. Fins at Patriots. I'm taking Pats. How about you?
Pats, low scoring game. I actually did a parlay in this game. I took the Dolphins to cover a 3-point spread, 3.5 point spread. But I also took under for Tua's passing yards, and I what else did I do? I took the under for the total game, total points. I think Bill Belichick's gonna have this dude fucking shook.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be pretty consistent over these last two. Sunday Night Football. Andy Dalton versus the Rams.
I think you take the Rams and you run away with it. For
Tough game. Two physical teams. They're both physical teams. But I'm taking the Rams. And then Raiders get to go to Vegas. Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
So, did I say Raiders? Or did I say Ravens?
You said Raiders. You said Raiders and Ravens, I think. Well, they're both
Ravens going to Vegas. I'm taking the Raiders.
You're taking the Raiders? Really?
Taking the Raiders. Ravens are devastated. They're disheveled. They have lost their confidence. John Gruden on Monday Night Football, he gets 1-0 and Twitter melts down. Give me the Raiders in a close game.
The funny thing is, you have me scared about. I have the Ravens winning in a parlay, so you actually have me scared, honestly, because I could definitely see John Gruden's smiling ass after beating the Ravens.
Right. This will be one of their 5 wins all year. But John Gruden's winning Monday night. Lamar Jackson comes in now. I don't know why. I can't give you much confidence in it. But John Gruden, man, and the Oakland Raiders, or sorry, the Las Vegas Raiders, still weird.
Dude, yeah, I'm taking the Ravens, but the Raiders have some weird energy about them, which makes me actually kind of scared. That like they always do, like find a way just to randomly be good.
It makes no sense. Sure, Ravens just had 2 guys get injured. They have a lot of injuries right now. Still, guys, like we were talking about it season-wise, but you got 2 running backs that don't know the system. Not that there is much of a system with just triple option DB. Your DB room looks. I remember last year going in the playoffs. They said these DBs for the Ravens, they're going to lock down the Bills. Okay.
Yeah.
Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith and Tavon Young.
Mind,
like Peters is their best all-around cover guy. Jimmy Smith is 33.
And their corners are not fast. They're not fast.
Yeah.
And you got Henry Ruggs out there. You got Nelson Aguilar. No, Nelson Aguilar's are the fucking Patriots now. You got Henry Ruggs out there fucking running deep shots. You got Brian Edwards.
Okay, Marlon Humphrey. Wait, isn't he hurt too?
Is he? No. I don't think he's hurt.
No, he didn't get hurt. I'm thinking
if he was hurt, I would be not taking this bet. But
okay.
Yeah, I think bottom line is that's the last game, right? Yeah. So I take Raiders. But it could be a trap game or week 1.
Derek Wolfe and Calais Campbell. I get trap. This is a trap game for the Ravens. I'm taking Big Bad John Gruden and the Las Vegas Raiders, baby. We'll see. We'll have to do. The big thing is I'll start tracking these, and we'll put our predictions up. We'll see. We'll see what you got.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
That's all I got too. Unless someone wants to join in and fucking spew some weird takes.
Nah, we're already at an hour and 15. I don't think we can handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Yeah. All right, my friend. That's all we got. We'll see how these picks hold up.